another wonderfully fulfilling day at school. Every day there is a child that makes me laugh or warms my heart.
Today I was teaching a grade 4 music class and this girl raises her hand and says, "Mrs. Lundin, what's with all the hashtags on the music staff?" I love teaching. I was walking to the gym one day and I actually said to myself, teaching is not a consolation prize. I'm good with this. I am so happy. I am Angie Lundin. We move too fast. We miss so much. We seldom see all the miracles in front of us. A warm embrace, a human touch, and so it goes, and it goes. And I race around and around and around, and I'm constantly going back and forth, and I keep meeting myself coming and going, Andrew, what are we doing here? There are so many.
And we're all here to see you. It's going to be great. We're going to do this together, and it's going to be great.
So close. Sorry. Whew. Okay. And so it goes. I race around, search high and low for the truth I used to know. When there was magic to be found, 'cause finding Wonderland is taking time to see. The girl within has always been there, smiling back at me. And when I close my eyes, oh good Lord in heaven, I did not imagine this. Wow! Remember I said I'd be happy if like 30 people showed up?
Look at this, 125.
I know, my heart is about to leap out of my chest.
And you're going to do great.
All right, when I close my eyes. Got this. So when I close my eyes, I just remember and I keep on finding Wonderland. It's not too late, honey, you're 53 years old. Here in my prime, well, 53 is a prime number, I'll give you that. Hearts cannot break in a story's nick of time. A happy ending, a perfect rhyme. 'Cause finding Wonderland is finding who you are. Wait a minute, stop the music, maestro. Who did you say you are? Angie Lundin? Mrs. Lundin. First time you heard that, you were looking for your mother-in-law. Angie. Ange. Mom. Mommy. Miss Angie. Angela Donahue. Angela. Angela. Greek for heavenly messenger of God. Angie. Not even a real name. What's in a name? A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Are you finished yet? Nope. Who am I anyway? Am I seems to be determined to rain on my parade this evening. Ha ha! Hit it! Don't tell me not to fly, I've simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade. Will you please stop? Honey, I'm just getting started. Hit it. 'Cause finding Wonderland is coming home again to feel the love another gives and give it back again. If you should lose your way, reach out for someone's hand and you'll be finding Wonderland. I'll be finding Wonderland. So, are you going to introduce me? Why? You no longer exist anymore. I have taken on a new identity. Angie Lundin, wife, mother, music teacher. I'm perfectly happy. My life has been so amazing. If I were Buddhist, this would be my last time around. My life has been so amazing. Right. What do you mean, right? It's true. I have a beautiful family. I've traveled across the globe with my performing, and after so many years of layoffs, I finally have a home in the teaching profession. I love going to teach each and every day. Methinks the laity doth protest too much. It's true. I'm blessed to be living and working in Canada, to have a job I love, and healthy children, and a supportive family back in Indiana and here, and I've nothing to complain about. But, I just have this feeling that something is missing. As I've aged and the time away from the stage increases, and my own children are pursuing careers in the arts, this feeling of something missing just becomes deeper. I've discovered over the past few years I've actually been in a bit of a state of mourning, a bit of a depression. A bit of a depression? Honey, for the past few years, you have been singing the blues. Look, you go on and on and on about your beautiful family and your amazing love of teaching, but there's still something missing. In spite of it all, there is an emptiness in your life, a void. Sweetie, you miss me. Well, I suppose I should introduce you all to Angela Donahue. Most of you in this room have never met her. She's kind of my ghost of the past. She likes to call me to task. I both love her and I fear her. I struggle between identities. I revel in who I once was, and I'm desperately trying to accept who I am now. Life is difficult. I read those words in the book, The Road Less Traveled, when I was in high school. And those 3 words, life is difficult, often come to mind when life hits me on one of these detours, taking me off my path. But what I'm learning is I need to acknowledge these detours and to tend to them. And that's what I'm doing here in this show. This show is a story of my struggle with identity, change, probably the biggest thing of all, time. In raising a family and changing careers and getting married, and enduring physical setbacks with vocal nodes and a torn Achilles and now menopause. I find find that I'm really fighting to find my way back. When things go wrong, I just tell myself it's God's way of keeping me humble. Back? Back to where? Where exactly do you want to go? Let's tell the real story. Our story. You want to be an actress again. Well, I've thought about it. Yes, I do. I've kept my union cards in case one day, maybe. I spent so much time on stages like this, and I always thought that one day, maybe I would come back, even if it was just to be a small part of my life. Well, you're starting here. You're here tonight, back on the path. And I can see it's a struggle for you. Can I have some help?
So, you moved to BC.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me of that. In 1994, I moved to BC. I got married. And I found an agent pretty much right away, and I started booking commercials. I quickly went from unknown actress to working actress in a matter of a few years. I booked gigs on The X-Files, Millennium, A Movie of the Week. Hey, do you remember that time that an actress got fired on set, and the casting director went to the talent agent and said, "Get me Angela Donahue. No audition, nothing, just get me on set." Yeah, I do remember that. I was just pulling out of the garage with my son Michael strapped in the baby seat. And I was really excited because I was going to get to see my friends at a Port Moody's mom's group. I heard they ever got to go. My husband comes running out of the garage. "You've got to call your agent right away." And I did. And within an hour, I was on the set of Atomic Train. It was about a runaway train with nuclear explosives headed straight for Denver. Quality stuff. Hey, I get royalties from that quality stuff. Well, those royalties are not enough to write home about. But they are enough to remind me of who I am. You see, the checks are all payable to her, Angela Donahue, which causes a lot of confusion at the bank because I don't have legal ID with my maiden name on it. Now, my mom, she uses her maiden name as her middle name, Barbara Bissing Donahue. Angela Donahue Lundin. Simple. I tried to do that when I immigrated to Canada, but they wouldn't let me do it unless I hyphenated it. It was so dumb. I wonder if they'd let me do that now without the hyphen. That would be nice. You know, I always thought that maybe women kept their maiden names just in case they got divorced. Maybe it would make life simpler. I don't know. I just looked at changing my name as a commitment to my marriage. But I did keep Angela Donahue in case I ever got screen credit. I wanted my family to be proud. Name and lights kind of thing. Oh, yes. I can remember your first audition for X-Files. That was a pretty big deal. Yeah, I remember it too. I was so excited for this audition, you see, because everybody back in Indiana knew the show, and even at my wedding reception, they're all saying, "You've got to get on the X-Files." So I prepared for this audition like I had never prepared before. I had this amazing, amazing acting teacher who helped me transition from stage to screen. So, to prepare, I pretended that I was pregnant and my husband didn't know about it. For the first time, I was able to get out of my head and connect to the art in a way I'd never had before. So I did the audition, and I got a call back. When I went to the callback, I removed myself from all the other chatting actresses and sat in a stairwell so that I could get back into that space again. Chris Carter, who was the creator of the X-Files, was there, and he gave me a direction, and I took it. And I must have done really good because I booked 2 days on the X-Files, baby. 2 days as an actor. Now, an actor role is only 3 lines of dialogue or less, but it was no small part to me. We were happening. Naming lights, baby.
Oh, hello. Oh, it's for you.
Hello? Oh, an audition tomorrow morning? Sorry, I can't. I have to teach a dance class. Thank you. All right, everybody on the floor. Nice big circle. Hands to yourself. Sitting up nice and tall. Here we go. And point, and flex, and point, and flex, and point, and flex, and point. Hug your knees and squeeze. Oh, good Lord. I'll get this one. Hello? An audition this afternoon? I don't think I'd be able to find a babysitter in time. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, you wouldn't be available to babysit for a couple of hours while I go do an audition?
Sorry, I got a class to work with.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, sorry, I'm not available. Okay, bye. 2 babies, a business to run. I wanted so desperately to stay in the acting business, but it was really, really tough. Very tricky to do. So one day the phone rings. Hi, the agency Christmas party? Me and my husband? Sure, we'd love to, thank you. Goodbye. This is really exciting. It's been about 2 years since I've done any film work whatsoever, and I'm invited to the agency Christmas party. I can't wait to reconnect with people in the industry. There's the casting director that put me on the Atomic Train, remember? Get me Angela Donahue? And she put me on the X-Files and so many other shows. I'm eager to connect with her. Merry Christmas, how are you? She looks at me just kind of blankly and says, oh, hi, and keeps on walking. She didn't even know who I was. I was no longer booking young mommy roles, my mainstay when I first moved to Vancouver. Callbacks at the Arts Club and the Vancouver Playhouse didn't end up in roles. My New York life and dreams of Broadway, our Wonderland we sung about earlier, well, they're now just dreams of the past. All my successes in the theater are now just stories of days gone by. My life as an actress was officially over, which is why you are no more Angela Donahue. It seemed to be time to take that final bow. So with more than a little regret, I did. Chapter closed. I guess I didn't really fight or resist it because I thought one day I would find my way back to the stage, even if it was just to be a small, small part of my life. Well, you followed the script. You followed the script of what you thought it meant to be a wife and a mother. Remember another time, you were on a commercial set. Michael was a baby, and your husband was out of town. And you ran into overtime. You had to call a friend for help. Yeah, hi, Christine. It's Ange. Hey, Wayne's away and I'm on this commercial set. We were supposed to finish by 3 o'clock, but I don't think we're going to finish until dinner. Do you think you could pick Michael up from daycare for me? Thank you so much. I'll call you when I know when I'm going to be back. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Well, the shoot ran really, really long. It went way past dinner and into the late evening. You were feeling pretty horrible. Hi, Chris. Yeah, it's Angie again. Hey, I don't know when we are going to finish here. Oh, you gave him dinner? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Hey, could I hear his voice? Oh, you put him to bed. No, don't wake him. I'm fine. No, don't do that. That's great. What's that? Oh, no, I can't have you do that, but thank you. Okay, good night. She offered to take him to daycare for you the next morning, but you said no. You let yourself into her home at 4 a.m. and slept on the living room floor. You had to be at your day job at 8. I wanted mine to be the first face he saw in the morning. Family still comes first. I don't regret this at all. In giving my whole heart as wife and mother, I've neglected a really big part of myself. And I do regret this. Kiss today goodbye, the sweetness and the sorrow. Wish me luck the same to you, and I won't forget what I did for love, what I did for me out in the shadows. I didn't mean to. Look, my eyes are dry. The gift was ours to borrow. It's as if we always knew, and I can't regret what I did for love, what I did for love. You know, this is how I looked at it. All of this was meant to be temporary. My talents were a gift. Art was never meant to be a permanent installation in my life. I was just having fun. You really think that our art was only fun? Kiss today goodbye, and point me toward tomorrow. Wish me luck the same to you. Won't forget, can't regret what I did for love. What I did for love. I'm afraid I've taken on a new role and there is no room for you here. Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. You're saying goodbye to me? What do you mean that your talents were a gift? That you were never meaning to make a career of it? Why wasn't I meant to be permanent? You led me on for all of those years. We belong on the stage. Theater is our life. Hang on a second. One time I had a call back at the Vancouver Playhouse, and the director there asked me, why have you been away from the stage for so long? And you know what I told her? Theater is only a part of my life. It's not my life. She said that she wished more actors had that attitude. Well, some good your attitude did for me. You killed me. Oh, goodness, now you're just being dramatic. This play is about me, remember? Okay. I have to be honest. I feel so guilty even considering a return to the stage. In order to take the time I need to prepare to give on the stage, it means I give to so many less other people in my life. It was so much easier when I really didn't have so many other responsibilities. I don't buy that. If you wanted easy, you would have never become an actress. But so much of that was easy. I consider so much of my acting career, especially in its early days, just dumb luck. I didn't know about performing arts programs. I did have a theater minor, but it was in technical design. I was way too intimidated by all the people wearing black and smoking their pot to be a double major in acting. Now, I did take voice lessons, and I did like performing, but I never really thought I could make a career of it. I don't buy that. I don't buy that one bit. I remember when Dad used to do my tax returns for me. I was so proud when he wrote actress under occupation. Now in my 50s, I am realizing that I've lost a big part of my identity. That is the identity that I created in those years as artist. What happened to Angela Donahue? One of the identities I loved most was that of artist. And yet artist is the identity I sacrificed to honor all of the others. What happened to Angela Donahue? Why did I think I had to give it up entirely? I do feel neglected. There has been a part of me, truthfully, that has been neglected, that's starving, and I really need to nurture that part of me, or I'm in a sense gonna die. Well, I have been neglected, I am starving, and I have already died. If I didn't die when you said I do to that wonderful husband of yours so many years ago, then you most certainly said goodbye to me when you took that final bow. Exit, stage left, lights out, everybody. Is she gone? Okay. I have been mourning a great loss. It's a loss that I feel so deeply, I don't know if I can even put words to it. Sometimes I just feel incredibly sad and empty in the depths of this loss. Perhaps it's something that can't be described, only felt. I don't want to say goodbye to Angela Donahue anymore. Enter stage right. Lights up, applause, everybody. Angela Donahue, resurrected. Phew. You really had me going there. You know, you act like this thing with identity is something new. I have struggled with it for years, so why is it so important to you right now? Why now? Good question. Maybe because as I've been doing my master's program, I've been spending a whole lot of time reflecting on the past. Maybe I'm afraid of the future. You know, this struggle with identity did begin in earnest when I was in college, university here in Canada. When I couldn't decide whether to tell people that I was from Kentucky or Indiana. Sounds simple enough. You see, I was born in Louisville, Kentucky. That's how we say it. Not Louisville or Louisville, but Louisville. And I grew up just across the Ohio River in Jeffersonville, Indiana. We call the place Southern Indiana. If I tell people that I'm from Kentucky, they expect this Southern girl who loves horses and says y'all to all her friends when she greets them. If I say I'm from Indiana, they definitely don't expect this Midwestern girl with this Hoosier twang. Well, you should have heard her twang before she moved to Canada. Get a load of this. I'll admit it was put on a little thick for that show, but it wasn't that far off. Now, back to identity. Identity. I went to Busch Gardens. There I was, a soprano, stuck in a country show. It was not the best time of my life, I'll tell you that. So, luckily, I decided to go to school to become a broadcast journalist. Now, at the time, Indiana University had one of the best programs in the country. I am pretty certain that she was attracted to the performing aspect of broadcasting. She wanted to be a news anchor. But an internship, a little thing that happened in a radio station internship, completely derailed that idea. It's 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and I am beginning my shift at the radio station. Now, the first thing we have to do is we call the police department and the fire department to find out if anything happened the night before. So I'm going to make that call. Good morning, Angela Donahue, WB. Anything happened last night? Usually there's nothing, but something actually happened last night. Single car accident, road leading into town, 1 man dead. Okay, got it, thank you. Single car accident, 1 person dead, road leading into town. I look at the Associated Press Newswire and there's nothing on it, so I decide to give them a call too. Good morning. It's Angela Donahue, WB News, Bloomington, Indiana. I just wanted to report there was a traffic accident. Single car accident on the highway coming into town, 1 man dead. No one has reported it? Yes, Angela Donahue, Donahue. That's right, like Phil. Okay, thank you very much. Oh my gosh. My name goes on the Associated Press Newswire. Angela Donahue, WB News, Bloomington, Indiana. Name in lights. I am the intern whose news director is so proud because she was on the ball. I got the scoop. I'm in a complete celebratory state when my boyfriend tells me that while you are celebrating, young lady, a family is mourning the loss of a son. Oh. Boy. Shit, what do I do now? This is my last semester of college. I can't make a living in an industry that focuses so often on other people's misfortunes. I can't stick a microphone in someone's face and ask them how they feel after their house is burned down and their dog is somewhere in the ashes. What am I gonna do now? Oh man, this completely changed her path. Well, I decide that I'm gonna go through commencement, but I don't get my diploma yet. This way I can take an internship in Louisville. I do a TV production internship. I'll just move in with my family for a little bit longer. You know, I might as well. I'm committed to Miss Indiana pageant for the summer, so what the heck? What? I entered on a dare and I won. No identity crisis here. I'm not a beauty queen. Which is why we're kind of surprised you did it. You had a gig at Opryland in Nashville, Tennessee that summer. That was the biggest theme park next to Disney World. I know, and I still regret it to this day. But I did make top 10 out of 20 contestants. You know what made me really mad, though? I told my sponsors that I wanted to represent myself as a performer. But they said, no, you'll do so much better if you represent yourself as a broadcast journalist. So, what do they ask me in the interview? A very straightforward question for a broadcast journalist. If you could interview anyone in the world, who would it be? Panic. I have no idea. My family has just made the 5-hour trek up to Michigan City, spent $300 on a pageant gown, and more money on a vocal arrangement that I'll never use again, and I am at a complete blank. Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar freaking Gaddafi? Oh my gosh, I can't think of any other name other than his. He's all over the news right now, and all I can think of is that he is the dictator of Libya, and he is not a very nice man. Yes. I would like to ask him why he's doing all those horrible things he's doing. Well, I knew in the moment I didn't have the crown. So I decided to go back to southern Indiana, move in with my parents, and I take a job at a department store while I figure things out.
Oh, hello. Oh, Angela, they're wondering if you can take an audition tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. at Kentucky Kingdom.
Why not?
Sure, she'll call you back.
Through a series of lucky breaks, I found myself going from one Midwestern town and another in my little station wagon, doing role to role and theater to theater, having the time of my life. These were mostly non-union jobs, which was fine. I got my first steady paycheck playing Liesel in The Sound of Music. I was 23, going on 24. I made $200 a week and was having the time of my life. Do you remember Hazleton, Pennsylvania? Oh, yes. Hazel Hell, we called it. I was doing Kathy Selden in Singing in the Rain. Dream role. The cast was so wonderful. But these are by far the worst living conditions that I've ever experienced anywhere. Our rooms stank of mold and mildew. Every morning, there was a fresh ring of mold on the inside of the toilet. My sheet music that I kept under the bed was damp and wavy from all the moisture. The rain tank warps, and down I go in the big finale. I'm singing with a sprain. It really hurt. So things drastically improved when you got your actor's equity card. You took your newfound status as serious actress and went straight to New York, y'all. Yes, I did. I packed up my little station wagon, bought a plane ticket, and headed off on the adventure of a lifetime. New York. Wow. What a great, great city. I was living the dream of so many actresses. I did temp work and waited tables and danced for an entertainment company called Shazam to pay the bills. It was just so wonderful. I could take dance classes and acting classes from master teachers. I even rubbed elbows with some Broadway greats as I did a production of 42nd Street with Jerry Orbach and Tammy Grimes and Karen Ziemba, who were all really big Broadway stars. Sounds glamorous, doesn't it? Need I remind you, you had a real love-hate relationship for that city. What are you talking about? I loved New York. I saw as many Broadway shows as I could possibly afford. I still have all my playbills. I think that age and time away from that city have made you forget what a love-hate relationship you truly had. You wanted out. What are you talking about? What are you doing with these? These are all my journals. July 14th, 1993. Men are such assholes. Sorry, it's right here. It all began when this jerk phoned today and said, "You are not a person. You are not Angela. You are a receptionist." I am now determined to get out of this city. So this guy calls and he wants to talk to somebody, and I say, "I'm sorry, he's not here. I'll just take a message." Well, he goes on yelling and yelling and yelling that he'd already given a message and that I didn't give it to him. I said, "Sir, there is no reason to be nasty." I had to apologize for calling him nasty. And then he just kept on yelling, so I hung up on him. Well, of course, he phones back and he asks me my name, and I tell him, and he keeps on yelling, and he will not let up. I apologize for hanging up on him, but that's not good enough. He keeps on going and going and going until he realizes I am in tears. Then he says, "Honey, I say this to all of my girls. When you are answering phones, you are not a person. You are not Angela." I said, "No, sir, I am Angela. I have never been treated so badly in my whole life." New York. I remember, too, as I was on the plane flying home from visiting my family or my boyfriend or maybe doing a job somewhere, I would get increasingly anxious as the plane neared LaGuardia. A woman accidentally kicks the seat of a man in front of her. "Oh, I'm really sorry." "You've been doing it the whole fucking trip." People get up out of their seats before the plane has come to a complete stop, ignoring the flight attendant's request to please sit in your seats with your seatbelt safely secured. I would often cry silent tears. I had taken a cabbie to court, only to be hit on by his sleazy lawyer. We had been burglarized just before Christmas time. I had enough of yelling employers and bosses on temp jobs. I had carried enough strollers up and down subway stairs to know I would never want to raise a child in the city. You know, maybe I just didn't want that Broadway dream badly enough. I've always thought that one of my greatest character flaws was that I am so soft. I am so sensitive. And in this case, I think it might have cost me my career. So, that's your story. I bet you were just waiting for a Prince Charming to come take you away. I see self-sabotage written all over this. I see self-sabotage even now. New York would have been a great place to raise children. Your daughter would have loved to have been raised in New York City. I know. How was I to know I'd have a daughter that wanted to be on Broadway? Sorry, kiddo. But, you know, for me, I just couldn't stay there and take the day-to-day beatings. It's hard, okay? 23 years later, it is really difficult for me knowing that I have friends on Broadway right now because they stuck it out. When I communicate with them, even on Facebook, as a non-artist, I just feel less of a person. You know, I went to New York so I would never play the what-if game, and here I am, playing the what-if game. So, you did meet this Prince Charming of yours? You were waiting on him. Did you ever find him? Oh, yes. I did. I've got to get ready for work. My waitressing job at that subway gets stuck one more time, and I am late. I'm going to get fired, even though I only make $2.01 an hour. Lousy tips. Oh, gosh, I don't have time for a phone call right now. Hello. Oh, hi. It's the cruise ship production company. You fired a singer? When would I have to come? Sunday? Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm really in a hurry. I'm on my way to my waitressing job. Can I call this after? You are going down a list of names, and the first person to say yes gets the job? Yes. This would be the contract that I would meet my wonderful husband of 23 years. Amazing how a single phone call can change the course of your life. Well, you did it. You fall in love, moved to Canada, cue cultural identity crisis. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons' command.
It's music again, no?
You know, that script never had me move into another country. And it became quite apparent that there were some cultural identity differences. I can't believe I was so naive to think that there weren't, but there were. The other thing that became apparent is a lot of Canadians have very strong opinions about their neighbors to the south. Just saying. It's 1996, and I've only been here for about 2 years, and I'm taking a bus to an audition in Vancouver. And there's this older woman going on an anti-American rant. Americans call all of our money funny money. They think we all say A at the end of sentences and live in igloos. Americans are so stupid. For once, I just have to say something. So I do wait until I'm about to get off the bus. You know, some of us Americans love Canada so much that we decided to make it our home. Have a nice day. Sometimes it's really hard being the only American in the room. So, do you identify as American or Canadian? This is really hard. Legally, I am both. I carry passports for both countries, and I have to file tax returns in both countries, which is just ridiculously expensive. My daughter gave me the name US-adian. You know, the more I live here, the more Canadian I do feel, and the less American I feel, which really makes me kind of sad. But the truth is, right now, I have a hard time identifying with what America is today. But it is still where I'm from, and I love it. So, cultural identity is a struggle. Yeah, it is. You know, this mixed cocktail of identities it makes my head spin. I know it's not unique to me. A lot of people come from places all over the world to Canada. But I don't think friends and family really understand how it affects me. Maybe I'm making too much of it. I don't think so. But if you could embrace both identities, that would be really helpful for both of us. US-adian. I like that. My break away from teaching the arts, or from performing in the arts, and into teaching the arts, is where the real struggle begins. You see, here, my art becomes more functional and less creative. It's the year 2000, and I am a business owner. Kinderdance. This is where I really lose my identity. I am now Miss Angie. Pizza feed, everyone. Isn't this lovely? I love teaching children dance and education every day. I love that I get to meet so many children all over the Lower Mainland. Truthfully, what I did like was it allowed me to create my own schedule so I could spend time with my kids. Rookie of the Year? Check. Franchisee of the Year? Check. Everything is so wonderful. Whenever I go out in public, people always know me. Every time I go out with my friends or family, I always hear, Miss Angie, with a young kid in tow. I tried to make it work. Juggling, running a business with having a busy family and really bad busy commitments. We bought the franchise so that I could make a steady income, one not afforded by acting. Truth is, I never really made any money doing Kinderdance. But that's okay. All of the lessons are strictly dictated by the franchisor. My creativity is totally gone. Hold the ball, drop the ball, reach up and pick an apple from the tree. This is not okay. This is not okay.
was a hard time to step out of the acting world and into that functional world of teaching. Angela knows it was no coincidence that most of her commercials had to do with working with young children. Don't blink or you'll miss me.
Watch out! There's something funny going on. It's new Tickle me Elmo. Your child tickles Elmo and he talks. And tickles. And laughs. Tickle him again and hold on, because his whole body shakes with laughter. Oh, boy. So be on the lookout. He's coming to the fun movie. Tickle me Elmo, the newest huggable member of the Tycho Sesame Street family.
Okay, Angie. Let's now really talk about why we are here on this stage today. Why is all of this so important to you now? Well, like I've said before, I just feel absolutely empty. I just love being on the stage. And although I love my job and my teaching colleagues, it's just not enough. That's because you are holding back. You have kept me hidden. I think they would like me, and I and you. Come on, Angie. You can do this. Just try. Give it a fight. Maestro. Fight, fight. Go, Angie, go. What a joke. This much I know. Seems so strange now and suddenly so complex. And I have no clue what comes next. And you won't have a clue if you just don't give it a try. Come on. You got this. Just a little more fight, like they say. No guts, no glory. All in all, I did fine, or maybe I was like 100 miles off course. Well, maybe that was too much, maybe not enough. Maybe I should just turn back now. 'Cause how can I go on when everything's so wrong? Where am I now? How am I here? Which way do I turn when it's all so unclear? I'm standing alone with nothing but fear. Where am I now? Now that I'm here. Angie, you're not alone. You've got me. And maybe after tonight, you'll have all of them too. All I wanted was this, just to feel one more time, just to be able to say I did it, just to open my eyes and see something different than before. Well, maybe that was too much, maybe too big a dream. Too late to turn back now, 'cause how can I go on when everything's so wrong, 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 wrong? I have a great career as a teacher, but my heart is not nearly as full as it is when I am on the stage with other artists who share my passion. You called yourself an artist? Yes, 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 yes! Where am I now? How am I here? Which way do I turn when it's all so unclear? I'm standing alone with nothing skip in and out of the classroom each and every day. You said it yourself. Our identities were never meant to be separated. You and I are together here on this stage tonight. I want more. I want more. I want more. Where am I now? Where am I now? I'm standing alone with nothing but fear. Please give me a sign. Will an answer appear? Where am I now? Where am I now? Where am I now? It's not too late. We can come back. Great. Thank you very much. Here I am mourning an aging body, and you throw her in my face? Well, it is a problem. You have never loved your body. I cannot blame you entirely because I never really loved my body either, but that's probably because I was always being told I had to lose weight. I can remember a time I had an audition for a production of 42nd Street, a show I had done 3 times, twice with original choreography. We were all standing on the line, just finished the big dance number, and the director comes up to us all, looks us up and down and says, "Ladies, I could hire any one of you for your talent, but you're all too fat for the costumes. Thank you." Maybe if I had chosen a career where weight wasn't a problem, you wouldn't have an issue today. Maybe. You're right, I've never loved my body. I'd love to look like that now. I wake up every morning and I play this little game where I get on the scales and off and on and off. Every morning I look into the mirror and I see this person. She looks a little familiar, but I don't really know who she is. I know it's all a part of aging and menopause, but I don't have to like it. How can you just tear apart your body? I mean, come on. Your body is your personal space of acting, of being, of living, of loving. You are so hard on yourself. I know. I guess, well, I know, no guessing to it. I'm afraid of getting old. I mean, I always joke it's better than not getting old. But to be honest, getting old scares me. Dying terrifies me. And dying without fully loving myself, that's just shameful. My parents always told me that change is part of life. And when I was living with them and I didn't know what I was going to do after university, they gave me these words of wisdom that I still live by today. What you do now might not be what you do 20 years from now. So do what you love. That gave me permission to follow my heart and to accept change. So if I've been brought up my whole life to accept change, why am I having such a hard time accepting it now? I am so sick and tired of being stuck. I am stuck between rushing around from place to place. I am stuck living in between hometowns, in between lives, in between careers, and now in between youth and old age. This place of being in between that she talks about is called liminal space. You know, you talk about this space as being something really bad, but it's not. In this space, we can spend time there and discover who and where we are. By being there in that space, you've been able to imagine yourself here again, on the stage. Being stuck causes me a great deal of pain. Angie, I can see you are just going through it all right now. You're emotional, forgetful, and oh so clumsy. I can see how desperately you are trying not to become unraveled, and I'm so proud of you. Maybe the two of us could just become better acquainted. Well, hello there, good old friend of mine. You've been reaching for yourself for such a long time. There's so much to say, no need to explain. Just an open door for you to come in from the rain. It's a long road when you're on your own, and someone like you will always choose the long way home. There's no right or wrong, I'm not here to blame. I just want to be the one to keep you from the rain, from the rain. And it looks like sunny skies. Now that I know you're alright. Time has left us older and wiser. I know I am. And it's good to know my best friend has come home again. 'Cause I think of us like an old cliche, but it doesn't matter, 'cause I love you anyway, coming from the rain. And it looks like sunny skies. Now that I know you're alright. Time has left us older and wiser. I know I am. And it's good to know my best friend has come home again. 'Cause I think of us like an old cliche. It doesn't matter, 'cause I love you anyway, coming from the rain. Come in from the rain. Come in from the rain. I don't have time to be writing scripts and more lines. I've had enough of that for a while. Look, I am constantly giving my time to others, which means I have precious little time left for me. It's almost like I'm addicted to volunteering. As a result, I am overscheduled, overstructured, over this, over that. I'm just getting over it. But the thing is, truthfully, I love giving my time to others. I really love volunteering because I love being part of so many different communities. Yeah, but you always go overboard. I know. I used to blame a busy family life and financial restraints for putting my artistic dreams on hold. But nowadays, I am completely the master of my own undoing. Well, but look at this. This is how I get really organized. See, this is my bag that I take to school. I call it walking the dog. It really works. I highly recommend it. It saves your back. Now, I have so many other bags that help me stay organized in my day. Oh, if I can get it unzipped. So, each day before I go, heavens to Betsy, how many zippers is on this thing? I usually have my laptop in there, but I don't have that with me tonight. Okay, here we go. Woohoo! Okay, so stay, puppy, stay. This is the bag that I use every Tuesday when I teach for Coastal Sound Music. I love this job. I sang with the choir for like 17 years, and then I got a job teaching little ones. I started out with 3 and 4-year-olds, and now I have a choir of 6 and 7-year-olds. It's so wonderful. This is a very, very special bag. It was actually given to me by someone that just passed on quite recently. I use it for catechism. I have taught for my church now for 10 years. It's very special to me. Oh, another church bag. I sing in my church choir with Andrew. I promise I will get these vocal parts a lot better than what I've got them now. Oh, this is my lunch bag. Oh, looky there. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how hungry I am. This bag was actually given to me by the adult choir at Coastal Sound. And you know what I use it for now? I use it when I'm writing somewhere away from home, when I want to get into that creative space. So I put my little laptop in there, and off I go. All my bags. I'm a bag lady. Well, I will help you clean up all these bags, as long as you can promise me there is a script in one of them with my name on it. I'll work on that. Oh, that is good. Oh, gosh. I can remember going to New York and really being gung-ho and wanted to take acting classes right away. So I signed up for a commercial course, which came in handy when I moved to Vancouver. And I remember that first night, we all sat in a circle, and the teacher said he wanted everybody to introduce ourselves, names, and what we did for a living. So we went around the room, waiter, office worker, unemployed. Oh, I'm Angela, and I am an actress. Know my acting teacher says? The only person to get that question right was Angela. In order to be an actress, you must be able to say, I am an actress. I can weave all of my identities together. I am an American who now calls Canada my home. I am a daughter, a sister, a wife, a mother, a friend. I am a music teacher. I am an artist. I have missed you, Angela Donahue. Well, sweetie, I know you have. But you know what? This is very exciting. Because tonight, you have started the first step. Freely and without guilt. Shh! Listen to that. Do you know what that is? That's the sound of the theater calling you again. This is my life. I can improvise. Yikes. I have never worked without a script before. I can help you. And what with your nagging, encouragement, I might even get the nerve to audition again. We can do this together. You know, like you said at the beginning of the night, teaching is not a consolation prize. You just have to teach what you love. And I do. Hold on just 1 minute. There's this call I have to make. Okay, see, Google. Get it to come up. Yes. I'm sorry. Hello. Actors Equity. This is Angela Donahue, Lundin. I would like to reactivate my membership, please. Fantastic, thank you. Don't worry. Baby steps. Baby steps? Baby steps? Angie, you gotta leap. You have an audience here tonight on this stage. You are well on your way. Let's do this together. Heart, don't fail me now. Courage, don't desert me. Don't turn back now that we're here. People always say life is full of choices. No one ever mentions fear or how the world can seem so vast on this journey to the past. Somewhere down this road, I know something's waiting. Years of dreams just can't be wrong. Arms will open wide. I'll be safe and wanted. Finally home where I belong. And starting here, I'm learning fast from my journey to our past. Angie Lundin, the stage is yours.
stage. Here we are. This was actually supposed to be a master's thesis, so I don't understand how we're here on stage. What happened?
Well, I could have, first of all, shortened this journey really quickly. I could have just taken my Master's of Education last summer and been done with it, got the pay hike, the whole bit. But in my heart, it just wasn't enough. And I actually did a presentation singing Come In From the Rain, and I had a slideshow with a lot of my family members in it, kind of reflecting my life. And two of my colleagues that were in the program said, you know, you've got the beginning of a one-woman show here. And I was like, poof, yeah, right. That was 2 summers ago, but that seed had been planted. And a year and a bit ago, I was in, Lynn is part of the SFU Education Masters the Arts cohort, as is Celeste Snover. I want to thank Celeste here too, because they are both on my thesis committee. And I pitched the idea to Lynn, and I thought she was going to say, you can't do a play as your thesis. And she was like, I have been waiting for so long to get my hands dirty to do something like this. And yeah, so this was born. I started writing it at Christmas time, condensed a lot. It was a lot to learn, and I really, you know, I knew I was going to go down on lines, and thank you for being so great. It's just a lot of dialogue, but it really helped me because the big question was, can I ever do this again? Like, if I were to ever audition again and get a play, can I even remember lines and parts? Well, yeah, if someone gives me the cue line, it's fine, but when you're trying to give yourself a cue line, it's a bit tricky. But it's been I'm so humbled. I can't believe how many people are here from all different walks of my life. It's very humbling.
So you're already blaming yourself for a couple of dropped lines, which I'm sure no one here even saw. And I'm asking Angela now how it feels to come back, to be here. What is Angela teaching Angie?
Angela is just telling Angie that she was a big old dummy to think that she had to walk away completely. Definitely my family, who's all here, 100% have come first in my life. But entertainers, artists, people do that. For some reason, I felt like it was all or nothing. If I couldn't be paid to walk on a set and say lines or something, I thought I couldn't call myself an actress. No idea where that came from. You know, my parents have always said, change is fine. You can always do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. And for some reason, I just let that part go. And I don't know why I thought that was okay. And again, it wasn't until the master's program in this embodiment class, I started journaling again. Journals are great. These journals here are actually journals that I wrote in high school, in university, when I lived in New York. So I never would have remembered all of these stories. And actually, I never remembered how much I wanted to get out of New York, because people here really glamorize it. It is a wonderful city, truthfully, it's wonderful. But I just really wasn't ready for that. But I didn't remember that. I was like, oh yeah, New York is fine. I just wanted to get married and have kids and everything. I forgot about all these stories, and there's so many more.
What I'm curious about, Angie, is what does it mean to you now to have written a play and performed it? Like, what did you learn along the way?
I learned that I am still an artist. I have always been an artist. I always will be an artist, whether there's a dollar sign attached to it or whether it's 1% of my life or 100% of my life. It's so important to me. It's who I am. It's who I am.
And is this a surprise for the people here?
I don't know.
To introduce your artist?
Why? Okay, when I became a school teacher, didn't you guys go, oh, she's a school teacher now? No. Wow, isn't that funny?
Yeah, your reputation
I told you,
continues.
I stripped it away. Charlie.
You're in the classroom. You're an artist. You're producing. You're doing the play right every day.
And this is what I've learned from Celeste. There was a line about teaching is a performative act. It's a line of giving. That came from Celeste. And I'm like, yeah, I guess it is. Because some people are like, oh, you act all the time in the classroom. Well, I'm not really acting. I'm being. And I'm giving, but that's what art is. So yes, I have learned a big lesson from this.
What's the difference between improvising and the script? Because Angela kind of panicked when she realized she'd have to improvise.
Yeah. Well, I've always been one that I've always had a hard time improvising. I know that, my grandmother would always say, why can't you perform in front of us? Like, just sing a song for us or whatever. And I just, as an actor, everything had to be rehearsed and had to be perfect. And I was a little beating myself up tonight even as I left. I'm like, so many times in rehearsals, I would get really emotional. And I couldn't do that tonight because I was trying to do it and not, instead of feeling it, right? I don't know. I'm so overwhelmed right now. I know I'll cry later.
Well, I suspect most of us were crying in the audience. Yeah, I know I was. Yeah. Because this play, for me, touched many of those quandaries that we have all through our life about who am I, what choices I made, those detours. Have I really gone off on the road less traveled, or am I on a highway that someone else has created and I'm just following the street signs and the stoplights?
I love the ideas of detours, and that's also from Celeste. Celeste Snowbird is a wonderful artist, dancer, poet, and in one of her books, she talked about detours. And I had what Lynn has taught me is a stop moment. It's just those aha moments, like the bag lady. I was getting ready for one of those hectic mornings, and I had all my bags lined up, and in my living room by myself, I went, I'm a bag lady. And it just made its way into the script.
And we also had one of those moments when you were actually working with the bags and you pulled one out and said, and this is a bag that I put in all the scripts that I'm writing.
And I stopped.
And I said, all the scripts? Are there more scripts that are coming?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a kind of future that arrives in the bag in that moment with that line of improvisation.
And for some reason before this, I never even thought about creating my own art because I'd always been handed the script.
And the question is, of course, how many scripts have we been handed, or do we hand others that we just follow the lines and we're afraid to improvise, or we're afraid to just say, I want to try something else.
Right.
Or, and I think this comes really strongly in your play, Angela, how much you love the people here and present who you've traveled with.
I'm just so touched. I'm still seeing who's here, and I'm blown away. There's people here tonight that I haven't seen in years in some cases, and we live minutes away, right, Penny? Yeah.
In talkbacks, we always invite the audience, if there's anyone here who would like to ask Angela or Angie a question. Sharon has a question to ask.
Sharon's having a baby.
Oh, wow. I'm losing control.
Not now, not now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Well, I did my master's with Angela, Angie, and we started together, like Nicole and I and Angela, and all of our courses came back to us, like, of all the things you spoke about, and seeing it in this context was amazing, and I think hearing your stories again brought
thank
back
you.
such wonderful memories, and the fact that you come and you're so brave to present all of them
Thank you.
is heartwarming, and
Thank
I'm so
you.
proud of you.
Thank you. It's funny, I couldn't see beyond the first row. I found my mother-in-law for the mother-in-law line. I told you you're in it, but I really couldn't see beyond the first row. I didn't even know. Yeah, the arts cohort, are there any teachers here that haven't done their master's yet? The arts cohort at SFU, I'm sure it's the same maybe anywhere, I don't know. It was transformative for me. It was very therapeutic. It gave me that time. Celeste, you cracked up when I said reflecting at SFU because man, oh man, we do. But it got me into that practice of writing again. And it's just so important because from the writings in my embodiment class, first of all, I was like, I don't even know what embodiment is. You know, I'm dancing with a pencil. I don't know what this is, you know. So, but I figured it out. But I just, from the writings, I kept seeing, I am stuck, flip page, 2 days later, I am stuck, a month later, I am stuck. And I went, oh, this is what they mean by a theme. So, well, because my professor, Catherine Ricketts, said, just keep writing, something will emerge. And even I was talking to a mother of a friend of my daughter's who just graduated from high school, and she's sort of trying to figure it out. I said, have you ever journaled? Have you ever written? It's amazing what comes out, what clarity comes out when you start writing. I know somewhere I have diaries from like the 5th grade, but I have kept all of these, and what a wonderful journey to the past to go back and see sort of who I was. Mostly I liked who I was. There were some times I was like, ooh. Yeah, I really did write men were assholes. That was a bad word for me. I never really swore much back in those days.
That was before she knew me.
That's before I married the Canadian.
That's the husband.
I want to make sure I introduce my family too.
Absolutely.
We don't swear in Indiana. That's like Bible thumping country. So.
Would anyone else like to ask? Yes.
I'm just curious, at what point you brought your family, particularly your children, into the process of what you were thinking, and whether you were worried about them, how they would feel about the kinds of things you were talking about?
Yeah, well, Heather. My family did not read the script. I talked to them. They had an idea of what I was doing, and I was always very careful to handle with care, because I didn't ever want my family to think I blamed them, like, oh, my husband and kids wrecked my showbiz career. That's not it at all, but it could definitely be played that way, right? But that's just not it. So Celeste and Lynn were very critical and crucial in helping me with that script. Oh, make sure you don't just say, I was following the script of being a wife and mother. I was following the script of what I thought it meant to be wife and mother. So this is the first they saw it. So you'd have to ask them how it felt. But
Yes, we have someone up there. Yes.
Hi, Angela.
Hello, it's an Angela convention.
Angela's also doing her master's at SFU. You just finished your first year?
Yeah.
Not in the arts cohort.
I'm in the education technology cohort.
Cool.
I was going to inquire what is the future of this play. I brought a lovely group of friends, some of our mutual friends and writer friends and all sorts of people who are keen to hear you tonight. But there were many people who didn't attend, who would love to have attended and couldn't.
Yeah.
Is there a future for Finding Wonderland?
I would like to think there's a future for Finding Wonderland. I don't know how it would play outside of a group of people that I know and love, or associated with people that I know and love. Yes?
I would suggest that those themes resonate hugely.
Around the world.
There's so much of what you said that is universal.
Well, I would like
Broadway, really.
Broadway!
Take it on the road.
Broadway and commercial in Vancouver. I'll be right right by the SkyTrain. Could you a music video?
We have someone here and then over there.
Dory, is that Dory?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, because myself, I'm a little bit of an artist, because
You're a songwriter,
I write music, but a lot of it is just kind of sitting there. But I think you really hit the note when, for women in particular, men, they go to work and that's what they do, but women, even career women, they're gung-ho in a career and then they get pregnant and there are brain changes in the brain and the baby and motherhood comes absolutely first. That's scientifically proven. So then it's much more difficult for women to do both. To have the career and to be a mom and to be good at both. And I think everything you've said here tonight has really hit home with a lot of women, and I thank you for that. And
A lot of mama guilt, and it is easier now, I will say, because both my youngest just graduated from high school. So I'm just sort of thinking in my head, it may just be an excuse that they were at school, but they did need me at home, and I really wanted to be with them all these years, right? And to each his own. Everyone has their own idea of what that looks like, but for me, I really wanted to tend to them. Like I said in the show, they're both going into the arts. My son Michael is going into 3rd year at Capilano in the film program, and Claire is going to be starting the 1st year in the musical theater program at Capilano. So we're a house full of artists.
You put on your own show. There was someone up here as
Maybe
well.
Claire and I can do a...
Hey, we've got the music thing down. I'm curious about the connection to the songs in your presentation here, which was absolutely wonderful. My question has to do with what's your connection to those particular selections? Did they come out of your audition book, or did you go through a selection process for those pieces? They did go through a selection process.
Honestly, I've got, oh my gosh, scads and scads and scads and scads of music. But I had to find something, I was allowed to use, and also something that really meant that I literally did a Google search of songs about feeling stuck, or songs about wanting to go to places or whatever. And then I just started listening, and these were songs that resonated. The Wonderland theme, it's not like, ooh, how original, Alice in Wonderland, but I have to give Mom credit for this. I'm going to have them stand up. I want you to meet my folks in just a moment. My mom, when I was in a work situation, a school situation where the job was like, and crazy, and I'm driving to work in tears because I'm so stressed out, and then I was applying for the master's program, my mom says, you need to read Alice Through the Looking Glass again, because you are Alice right now. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'm Alice. So I read it, so that came along. And then when I was talking with Lynn about this idea of the show, she's like, I see this Alice in Wonderland theme. I'm like, really? And then when I looked back, I forgot, in 2 years of presentations, I did, one of my presentations I called Navigating Wonderland. So it was just like, it was just a theme, it just sort of evolved. So, and the songs I totally connected to. I didn't even know Anastasia was opening on Broadway, because when I first did it, the last song I did, Journey to the Past, is Anastasia just opened on Broadway. It was just the Disney movie.
Yeah, I can get you the label.
Oh, he also saw Hamilton. But Peter, thank you for coming. I am so touched. Peter's a very active musician and musical director in his own right. He's been subbing in for Drowsy Chaperone at Tuts, and these are my peeps. These are people like, it's amazing. I just feel like I've lost touch with so many people. When I talk to someone like Peter even, I just feel like, oh, I'm a teacher. And it's not that I hate being a teacher. I just love the arts, and being a music teacher too, you are often looked at as, you're the prep coverage, you're not a real teacher. It doesn't count.
But isn't that a challenge of the society and community, to rethink how we look at the arts, to look again?
Absolutely.
Look again?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think we have enough people in this room to stage a musical ourselves.
Improvising.
I'm aware of the time. I do want
Yes,
to
I
thank
have
you
to
all
make sure
for
I'm out of the
coming,
theater.
and I believe Angela
Thank you
wants
so
the
much.
last word, even though I tried really hard to get it.
Angela's pretty bossy.
So's Angie.
And I have to say too, in Southern Indiana we do have a twang, and I just went home less than a month ago, and I'm thinking, because I really overdid it a bit, just hopefully so that you could see the two characters, because it's hard playing two people. But I want to introduce my parents who came from Indiana. So I'm hoping that you guys will stand up. They weren't gonna come and make the trip. It's a hard trip. And I went home at the beginning of August, and my dad says, man, if you memorize all this, we're flying out. And I said, Dad, you better book your tickets, because Donahue, and my mom, Barbara Vissing Donahue, and I love her so much. And I want to introduce my little family. my Prince Charming who got me away from the big bad city. This is Wayne. Lundy, the Mr.
Oh, I don't want to go.
Claire and Michael. I just have to say, like this summer, I just said, I am going to be the world's worst wife and mother. They have been so patient, as I'm saying, especially he was away on a business trip 2 weeks ago. I said, kids, whatever's in the fridge, fix yourself, because I couldn't have done it. And this is what I'm saying too. When they do grow up, I feel like now maybe is the chance to start doing this a bit more. But I'm so proud of these amazing young people that these two have become. So, thank you. And again, people from all walks of my life, from my church, from teaching, my children's teachers, teaching colleagues. I think I saw my principal here. I see you, Bill. People from Coastal Sound, Choral Connections next year. I'll come back next year. Oh my gosh, I just saw you guys too. Thank you.
We should have had a guest book.
I know, I'm thinking that now. I should have had a guest book in the lobby because the next show.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming.
So very
May I
much.
introduce Angela Donahue.